A poetry analysis of Batter My Heart, Three-Person God by Donne. Butter my heart, three-personed God, for you, as yet, but knock, breathe, shine, and seek to mend, that I may rise and stand, o'erthrow me and bend, your force to break, blow, burn, and make me new. I, like an usurped town, to another due, labor to admit you, but oh, to no end. Reason, your viceroy in me should defend, but is captived, and proves weak or untrue. Yet dearly I love you, and would be loved fain, but am betrothed unto your enemy. Divorce me, untie or break that knot again. Take me to you, imprison me, for I, except you enthrall me, never shall be free, nor ever chaste, except you ravish me. There are rhyming words in this poem, and the rhyming scheme is ABBA, ABBA, CDE, CFF. Well, this is if we pronounce the word again in the American English way. When I read the poem earlier, I pronounced the word again as again because all in all, Philippine English traditionally follows American English. So, without even thinking of the rhyming scheme, I pronounced it as again, as I would naturally do every time I see this word. Now, as you can see in this slide, the word again is highlighted in red because this is pronounced differently in British English. So again in American English is again in British English. Since John Donne is a British poet, the word again in this poem is pronounced as again. Therefore, the actual rhyming scheme is not what I mentioned earlier. It is actually ABBA, ABBA, CDD, CEE. Now, what does the word butter mean? Well, it means to beat persistently or hard, pound repeatedly, just like when we use mortars and pestles to pound or beat spices. This word is in the first line of the poem, wherein the phrase butter my heart is a metaphor, and the phrase three-person God refers to the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. In the second line, the word knock is an onomatopoeia, and the words breathe, shine, and the phrase seek to mend are metaphors. Furthermore, there is another metaphor in the third line, most specifically because of the phrase o'erthrow me and the word bend. In the fourth line, there is an alliteration. The words break, blow, burn. In these four lines, the persona is asking God to strengthen his or her faith. He or she is asking for more impact of the faith unto him or her. The persona thinks that God's knocking, breathing, shining, and seeking to mend are not enough to maintain the faith. Furthermore, the persona says that the only way for him or her to be standing firmly is through God's strong and forceful knocking. That's the word butter here. On the one hand, the fifth line shows simile. I, like an usurped town, to another do. Next, the sixth line, labor to admit you, but oh, to no end, is a metaphor. Likewise, in the seventh line, reason your viceroy in me should defend. It's a metaphor. And the word me is mentioned twice, making it a repetition. The eighth line, but is captive and proves weak or untrue, is a paradox. From the fifth line up to the eighth line, the persona mentions that he or she is like a town conquered by enemies, which is actually a symbol for sins. In this regard, the persona wants to be free from the conquerors or to be free from sins. The ninth and the 10th lines show a hyperbole, and the word enemy refers to Satan. The 11th line also shows a hyperbole. Finally, the last three lines collectively show a metaphor. These last four lines, together with the preceding two lines, point out that the persona loves God, but he or she is married to the enemy. Here, the persona states that there is truly no freedom from sin unless this marriage is broken. Lastly, the persona is asking God to free him or her from Satan, even with the use of force. This poem has metaphor, onomatopoeia, alliteration, simile, paradox, and hyperbole. But overall, the entire context of this poem is mostly a paradox and a metaphor. The poem centers on the paradox that in order to be free from the chains of sin, the souls should be rescued and reformed by God. The writer widely used metaphors, using strong verbs to get his strong message across. How can I relate to the poem? I can relate to the poem as a Christian who tries her best to avoid sin. But there are certain times throughout life when there are difficulties and struggles in doing so. What is the message of Donne in this poem? I believe that the message is that Christians can still be saved by God no matter what the extent of sinfulness is, as long as there is readiness to be sincerely free from the chains of sin. When there is willingness to change and to avoid sinning as much as possible, then God can take control. Thank you.